to, and so you just kind of see that happening, and it just becomes part of the norm for when you're living that way.
Dr. Russ McDonald is the president of the United Tribes Technical College and a speaker at this year's Recovery Reinvented.
I'd be drinking for 2 weeks, and everything would be put aside for my drinking. And tried marijuana. I was kind of scared of it. But once I tried it, I liked it, and the two seemed to run together. At the end, I was using every day. And so I drink, I'd make it to work, and I'd get out of work, and I had a drink in my car. And I would drink on the way home from work.
McDonald also spent time in the Army. He says it was one of the only times he had his addiction under control. Whenever he returned home, it was a different story.
After I got out, there wasn't really any restrictions on me anymore. And so as a result of that, I would just start partying, and I just keep on partying. And I just blow off work and family and everything else and just keep on drinking.
It took McDonald going to treatment a total of 16 times before finally becoming sober. Over a 10-year span, he had sought help from South Dakota all the way up to Minot. July 14th, 1994 was the last time he had a drink.
That I want people to hear, especially the younger ones, is that don't go down that road at all. Don't go down that road where there's opportunity to become addicted to something.
After 25 years of sobriety, McDonald looks to inspire others by telling his story at Recovery Reinvented. He believes being able to help each other through sobriety is part of the journey. McDonald says it was when he heard First Lady Burgum share her story, that's when he realized there were other people who had been down the same road as he had.
Wow.
Yeah, great story, Nakaya. Thank you very much.
Nice job. A former North Dakota grain trader has been sentenced to 8 years in prison. In addition, 22-year-old Hunter Hansen must also pay back $11 million. In July, Hansen pled guilty to wire fraud and money laundering. Court documents show he bought crops and either failed to pay people back or sent them checks that bounced.
Changes are on the horizon for how coal-fired power plants remove their waste, and those changes could have an impact on North Dakota. EPA Administrator Andrew Wheeler is proposing easing rules put in place by the Obama administration. The first would ease rules enacted in 2015, mandating the way power plants clean toxic heavy metals and coal ash before depositing it in streams and rivers. Some of those metals include mercury and arsenic. The second would extend the deadline companies have to clean up or close unlined coal ash dumps close to groundwater. Many think the rollback of the restrictions will give power companies free rein to pollute, but Basin Electric's senior environmental compliance administrator says that's not the case.
Basin has spent tens of millions of dollars over the past few years complying with these different rules. The effect of this kind of latest rulemaking, though, is that there is no benefit to us. In fact, some of the deadlines got tighter for us.
The proposals come at a time when the coal industry is struggling against greener solutions such as wind and solar power. In fact, Montana Dakota Utilities announced earlier this year that the RM Hesketh station in Mandan will retire its coal-fired units in 2021 and replace them with a new natural gas facility.
Now, some people smelled a not so pleasant odor coming from their tap. A diesel-like smell was coming from the water in Garrison, which is why the Department of Health was contacted. After testing the water supply, small traces of known gasoline additives were found, but not enough, they say, to cause alarm or harm for people drinking it. The mayor of Garrison says they are staying on top of things and trying to figure out how this happened in the first place.
One of the things that they noted is that could come from, chemicals from plastic tubing, the water lines, But it's very possible that this might be an isolated incident.
The city gets their drinking water from Lake Sakakawea. They'll be running more tests and will continue to keep people updated. Right now, there have been no additional reports of foul-smelling water.
Well, coming up tomorrow on Good Day Dakota, according to ndhealth.org, nearly 200,000 North Dakotans are affected with some form of diabetes. We'll show you who's helping teach the importance of preventing it tomorrow morning on Good Day Dakota.
But still to come on KX News at 10, fighting for our country and his own survival. One veteran's story of his service and road to recovery.
And life mimics art. More on a special piece featured at today's Recovery Reinvented.
Plus, any more sub-zero temperatures heading our way, or is that over?
I don't know.
We'll find out a little later in your full forecast.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us. You're watching KX News at 10 with Lauren Kalber, Nicholas Kwolek, weather with meteorologist Dave Holder, and sports with Joey Lamar. KX News at 10, putting North Dakota first.
When you think of her, think of Walkers and Daughters Jewelers, His Street downtown, and Kirkwood Mall, Bismarck.
Tomorrow morning on Good Day Dakota, we're warming up, and I'll tell you how long I think we'll keep this warm up.
And between schools and libraries, there are hundreds and thousands of books lining the shelves, and now a local bookstore is working to keep those shelves filled. Tune in to Good Day Dakota tomorrow to learn all about it.
Plan your day every day with Amber.
Warnings and advisories in the forecast. In fact, these will last through tomorrow.
Your forecast first on Good Day Dakota, starting at 5 a.m.
At Papa Murphy's, get your hands on something amazing. Right now, get the new Zesty Pep for $12 with giant pepperoni, sausage, and the zing of banana peppers. Everything's better with a little zing. We make it, you bake it, Papa Murphy's.
We're having a pay-it-forward sales opportunity all month long at Dvorak Motors. Opportunities are for everyone, and if you're in the market for a pre-loved vehicle with the best lifetime warranty, we will pay it forward by giving you a minimum of $1,000 for your trade, regardless of condition. In return, you will donate that vehicle to the Wheels for Work donation program to give someone in need a vehicle of their own. Plus, for every vehicle sold, we will donate $100 to Wheels for Work and Bismarck Mandan School's lunch program. We are paying it forward all month long at Dvorak Motors. We're your family for a lifetime.
More than 68,000 North Dakotans care for a parent, spouse, or other loved one, helping them live independently at home. Now, a new law called the CARE Act supports these family caregivers. This law ensures that hospitals identify and involve the patient's family caregiver throughout their stay, and that hospitals provide instructions for aftercare tasks like injections and wound care that the caregiver will perform at home. To learn more, visit kxnet.com/caregiving.
Sponsored by AARP North Dakota.
A Taco John stuffed grilled taco makes a great stocking stuffer for stocking stuffers who have stockings that need to be stuffed, and stuffed well. Stuffed with layers on layers of savory stuff. Stuffed grilled tacos. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
KX Cam, brought to you by Swenson RV and Marine. Check out our best-selling nitro fiberglass boats, tracker boats, and pontoons. You're watching KX News, putting North Dakota first.
While Veterans Day has passed, KX News is still honoring all of the veterans who've served and continue to serve. In tonight's Veterans Voices, we don't just have a story of a remarkable veteran. We also have his journey through recovery.
Now, Roger Anvik served in the United States Army from 1967 through 1974. He fought in the Vietnam War and continued his service in Germany as a telephone line installer.
Anvik says he came from a family that abused alcohol and told KX joining the Army didn't make his situation much better. He says since becoming sober, he's turned his life around and has his family and God to thank for it.
Here's Aaron Fields with tonight's Veterans Voices.
My counselor told me I'm not going to make it. And he was right. I wouldn't, because I was already planning to get my first drink.
Roger Anvik says it wasn't the Army that started his drinking habits, but the extra money and the whole environment that made it worse.
I think that had something to do with it, being how scary it was. I think maybe at first, that's how it started. That might have been it. That could have been it. But not for me, because I was already subjected to it.
Anvik tells me alcohol abuse started with his grandfather and went down the line from there. But after joining the military, it was something he noticed everyone was doing.
I'd say that was prevalent. Very much so. At that time.
Almost 1 out of 3 veterans is seeking treatment for some type of substance use disorder. Anvik says it took him nearly 12 years before he woke up one day and decided it was time for him to seek treatment.
My wife was having a hard time waking me up, and I grabbed the pillow and threw it at her. But it wasn't so much that I grabbed the pillow and threw it at her. It was that I grabbed something. If I'd had a frying pan there, I'd have threw that at her. It was just, I wanted to leave me alone. I was throwing something, anything at her. And I just realized that it was not a safe way for me to be.
But even with treatment, Anvik says he wasn't ever planning on stopping.
On my last day there, last group meeting, he told me, "You're not going to make it." And he made me mad. And I said, "I'll show you, sucker." And that's what kept me sober long enough to want to be sober.
Anvik says he can't even remember the last time he picked up a drink. And because of treatment and God, he met his new wife, his daughter, and altogether turned his life around in order to be the best dad he could be.
All the drink is going to do is ruin your life. Until you get help, you just continue to ruin it, and it don't get no better until after you get help. But you got to do it yourself.
And even after everything Anvik has gone through, he says till this day, he will forever honor and serve his country.
I took my oath to protect my country from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I took that in June of 1967. I have not been released from that oath. I've been released from service, but I have not been released from the oath. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm still under that oath. And as far as I'm concerned, all veterans, all service members, we're under that oath until we die.
For KX News, I'm Aaron Fields.
Now, Anvik's daughter, Nikki Johnson, works for us here at KX News as a digital reporter, and we want to thank not only him for his service, but also the entire family for sharing their recovery stories with us.
And if you're a veteran seeking help, there are many resources available, and you can find some of them over on our website, kxnet.com.
And keep it here when we return. Names, dates, and more, all on tiny pieces of glass. We're going to tell you why.
And taking a live look outside after a very cold start to the week, sub-zero temperatures may not be hanging around for long. More details on your full forecast next.
River City Sports is your Ice Castle Fish House dealer. Fish, camp, hunt.
Save 11%. Save 22%. Shop the Veterans Day Savings Event at the Carpet Garage. Through Saturday, save 11% on all in-stock flooring. For veterans and active military members, we'll double the discount, a 22% savings. Shop the area's largest selection of in-stock flooring. Take it home the same day. And this week only, save 11% on in-stock flooring. 22% savings for veterans and active military with proof of service. The Veterans Day Savings Event. Through Saturday at the Carpet Garage.
Hello, cattlemen. This is Bismarck Livestock Auction in Bismarck, North Dakota. We want to welcome all the ranchers in the region to our new facility on 80th Street, Northeast Bismarck. With over 100 years combined experience, we would love to market your cattle the best in the most modern way possible.
It's Truck Month in the Northland, where we take on every tough job, any rough terrain, and no matter what comes our way, we keep on trucking. Yeah, we're tougher up here. And there's only one brand of truck built to keep up. During Truck Month, get up to $9,250 cash back on a Ford F-150 or lease F-150 for just $299 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
The guys in the ugly red trucks.
Specialized Cleaning is celebrating 20 years of firsts. And when it comes to area rugs, Specialized is the first and only company to offer an innovative cleaning method for removing dry, embedded soils. Cleaning what others can't. Specialized offers green products and uses the method of cleaning required to maintain most carpet warranties. And we have the ugliest trucks in town. They really are ugly. The guys or the trucks?
Now, your local weather with the KX Storm Team.
Hey guys,
We keep winter hours so you guys can enjoy these animals, and these animals enjoy this weather. Hey, Tom, how's the weather?
Yeah, and the weather is going to be pretty nice. Now, that was at the Roosevelt Park Zoo in Minot, and that was one of the otter cages where they were swimming around a little bit. But the weather for the rest of the week and into the weekend, boy, it's really going to cooperate. The temperatures will go up, especially when you compare it to what we had Sunday and yesterday. So tomorrow will be one of the colder days of the week, and even that'll be 20s and 30s. So we're looking at the KX cam right now, and it's not shaking, so it's not windy. There were a few snowflakes in the area a little bit ago. And looking at the Bismarck cam, there's no snowflakes there as well. And just a pretty nice night. Let's check out some of the temperatures. We're still in the mid-20s in Bismarck at 25 degrees. But notice Dickinson, still 36, 31 in Minot, Crosby at 28, Ashley at 25 degrees. The wind is roughly 5 to 8 miles an hour, except in the southwest where it's a little bit stronger, but it's not terribly cold. So the wind chills aren't like crazy bad tonight, but still 5, 7 miles an hour, calm in Bismarck, pretty nice. Now, here's a look at the satellite and the radar, and a couple things to notice. One, it's not completely widespread snow, but it's real light snow. It's like one shade of white there and just 1 or 2 shades of blue. So very, very light snow. Most of it in the north right now and off to the east of Highway 83. And it was heading towards the Bismarck area, but it looks like a bit of a bubble around Bismarck, kind of stopping the snow. I still think you're going to see a few flurries in the Bismarck and Mandan area, but it's not going to add up to a whole lot tonight. And even if you look off to the west, that's just like white. So it's just flurries and not much more. Slightly heavier snow, and we're talking about maybe ending up with a ½ inch or so off to the east of even Steele. So here's our Precision Cast forecast model by 1 o'clock in the morning. It still doesn't have much going on around Bismarck, but still some light snow around Dickinson. It should be done in the north around Highway 2. Again, very light, 1 shade of blue there. And then tomorrow morning, at least in the north, there will be some counties where the sky has already been clearing out a little bit. It'll be cloudy elsewhere, but that's also going to help hold the temperatures up tonight, that little insulation in the atmosphere. And then throughout the day, many areas will start to clear out, so we should see some sunshine tomorrow. Some areas will only be around 20 degrees, others around 30, but it's not going to be that bad. And when we look at the next 72 hours for Dickinson, well, there's a 30-degree temperature there, but notice how it gets to around 40 degrees for Thursday and Friday. The nighttime lows aren't anywhere close to 0, and 30 to 40, close to 40 for Williston. And again, those nighttime lows nowhere close to 0. So for tonight, we're going to have temperatures well above 0. Probably in the teens to maybe some low 20s, just a little bit of a breeze, so wind chill really won't be a big problem. And then daytime highs tomorrow in the 20s to maybe some 30s in the west. So it is going to be rather chilly. These temperatures are still well below normal, but they're going to warm up too. As you look at the next 7 days, you can see how they start getting back into the 40s. And even the nighttime lows aren't going to be that bad. So, Lauren and Nicholas, no matter where you're at, we're going to have warmer weather at least into next week.
Looks way better.
It certainly does. Tom, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. Sports is next.
Wake up with Tim, Alicia, Amber, Becky, and Aaron on Good Day Dakota. Weekday morning starting at 5 a.m.
We tip our hats to the men and women who serve to protect hearth and home. At Slumberland's Veterans Sale, shop now and get savings store-wide. Plus, veterans and active service members get an extra 10% off with our gratitude. Slumberland Furniture. At Slumberland's Mattress Sale, we aim high and price low. Like this incredibly comfy Sealy Queen mattress for just $298. The quality of a Sealy at a low Slumberland price. And most items can be in your home in a week. You can't make a mistake at Slumberland Furniture.
Real STIHL. Find yours. Right now, double your run times when you buy an AK or AP battery set and get the second battery half off. Battery power made by STIHL. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com.
What's that? That's the crown of higher profit. We claimed it with Prosaro.
Season after season, Prosaro fungicide's unique combination of fast action and long residual vanquishes leaf and head diseases and maximizes grain quality and yield like no other.
Richard, are you going on about Prosaro again?
Of course I am. It's the #1 reducer of scab.
When grain quality and yield rule, profit reigns. Prosaro.
Dear adrenaline, you run in our veins. Let's hit the road with the wind in our grills and the gravel under our wheels. Anytime you want to tear up some trails, just drop us a gas line. Your squad, Toyota Trucks.
Toyota is proud to offer a special military rebate on top of current offers available to qualified U.S. military personnel. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Now, KX Sports with Joey Lamar.
We begin with Region Volleyball in the semifinals of a competitive Region 7 tournament. This is the first semifinal between Bowman County and Hettinger Scranton. In the first set, Bowman County with a back set to Jill Swahovic and Abby Smeal. She beats the block and gets the kill. Bowman County is on the board. But Hettinger would show why they are the 1 seed. Talia Carter sets it to the back row, and Elise Andries drops the hammer with a kill. And later in the set, Carter is going to find Andries again. And she finds space on the short side of the net. Hettinger will go on to win in 3 sets and are moving on to the championship. To the other semifinal, Harts River facing Dickinson Trinity. We start with Harts River on the attack. Madison Beebe sets to the outside, and Kaylee Wilkie finds the empty space in the back corner for the kill. But Trinity's Abby Cubas would take over from here. This is a quick set to the outside, and look out below, a powerful slam point to Trinity. Later in the set, Callie Cubas continues the Cubas connection. Abby with another kill. Trinity takes the set as they win the match 3-1. So the Region 7 championship will be either Hettinger Scranton or Dickinson Trinity. That match is Thursday. And now we go to New Salem for Region 5. This is the second semifinal between Shiloh Christian and Wilton Wing. In the first set, the ball goes to Shiloh Christian's Grayson Wanzak, and she uses the tape to her advantage as Shiloh takes a 4-3 lead. Later, the game is tied at 5 and a great dig from Wilton Wing. And then Haley Qualm says, forget about the outside hitter. I'll take care of this myself. Later, Shiloh leads by 3, and the set goes to Wilton Wing's Kalissa Shock, and she powers that one through. But it's Shiloh Christian that picks up the win 3-1. And in the first semifinal, Flasher remained undefeated with a 3-1 win over Garrison Max. So the championship on Thursday will feature the top 2 seeds. Now we go to women's college basketball, where the University of Mary looks to pull their record to even on the young season. This was also their first home game. And in the second half, UMary leads by, well, a lot. On the first possession, they dumped the ball down to Cassie Askvig, and she makes the basket. Plus, she was fouled. She would miss the free throw, but the Marauders would grab the rebound and give it right back to Askvig, and, well, she scores again. UMary led 65-21. After presentation made a 3-point field goal, UMary responds with one of their own. Coral Gillette is true from distance. UMary gets the win tonight, 110-52. And down the street at United Tribes, this is also their home opener. And here United Tribes comes up with a steal, and they throw it ahead to Amrin Brown, and she lays the first points of the game in. Later off the miss, look at how fast United Tribes pushes this ball up the floor. Carissa Duchesne makes the score 4-0 United Tribes. Later off another steal. United Tribes is in transition, but look at how they share the basketball. Bismarck High's Hannah Golis gets the bucket. United Tribes wins 101-12. And in college volleyball, Bismarck State won the Northwest District to qualify for the NJCAA Division II National Tournament. The Mystics earned the number 12 seed. They will play the number 5 seed, Catawba Valley, on Thursday, November 21st. That match will be at 3 p.m. The entire tournament will be in Charleston, West Virginia. Now we go to 9-man football, where Kidder County continues its historic season. This Friday, Kidder County will play for the 9-man state championship for the first time in school history. Offensively, this is a balanced team. Coach Jack Bisterfield said they are running the ball and throwing the ball at around 50% each.
That'll keep teams honest, and we have kids that can catch the ball too, and we're pass blocking well. So it's something we have been doing, mainly probably for scoring, but we made some big plays with the pass game.
Kidder County looks to win the school's first ever state title on Friday when they face Cavalier at 9:10 a.m. at the Fargo Dome. What an exciting time for those football players.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Stay tuned when we return how this art illustrates hope and recovery.
And we'll have one last look at your forecast.
Coach you through buying a home, growing your business, or planning for retirement. Kirkwood Bank and Trust, when it matters.
Coverage where you explore. Coverage where you play. Coverage where you live. With Sanford Health Plan, you get access to the highest quality care, affordable plans, and a team dedicated to helping you understand health insurance. Live life covered. Speak with your local agent or visit sanfordhealthplan.com.
Gorgeous grays, wonderful wood tones, rich quartz and graphite. Cabinets are the most important selection for your kitchen and bath. Let us plan your dream kitchen with the help of Floor to Ceiling's team of designers. We will handle all aspects of installation from start to finish, including coordination of plumbers to electricians. New cabinets from Floor to Ceiling will bring new life to your kitchen for less than you think. Visit the Floor to Ceiling showroom or online at floortoceiling.com.
Hold on to me, don't let me go. Your first name is Free, last name is Down.
For a limited time during SUV season, get over $6,500 total savings on a 2019 Ford Edge. Only at your Northland Ford dealers.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. That's what your Cat dealer is here for. Right now at Butler Machinery, get 0% for 60 months with 0 down on select new Cat compact equipment.
We want to be part of something bigger than ourselves, providing for our nation and changing the world. We want full shelves, full tanks, and a full charge. We want commerce and communities overcoming differences, working together, thriving, giving the next generation a reason to stay, and America reason to take note. In this state, it's happening. Our energy from oil and natural gas make it possible. We are the energy of North Dakota.
For your financial service needs, contact a Stifel financial advisor in Bismarck, Dickinson, Jamestown, or Williston. Stifel Wealth Management and Investment Banking, built around you. Full service solutions for individuals and business. Call Stifel today.
For your business or personal banking needs, call Nate, Neil, or Jason at BNC National Bank in Bismarck.
In honor of Recovery Reinvented, a local artist is helping survivors pick up and put the pieces back together.
Molly McLean brought a community mosaic to today's event to tell the story of recovering addicts and those who know them. People got a chance to write names, scriptures, and dates on a piece of glass to glue it to the masterpiece. McLean provided 3 panels of mosaics symbolizing the Recovery Reinvented motto, Dream, Hope, and Act. This artwork aims to uncover the stigma associated with recovering addicts.
It brings together people's stories and just hands working together to create a larger piece, a larger story. I think it's really representative, and I think it's cathartic and therapeutic to do.
This is the first year McLean is doing this. She'll send the finished product to be used during future Recovery Reinvented events.
Very nice.
Yeah. And for tonight's photo finish, a sunrise. David said he took this one just this morning. Some beautiful colors, David. Thanks for sharing it with us.
A lot of good ones these days. Now here's a last look at your forecast. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Lauren. Yeah,
it's actually been a pretty nice night. I went out and took the dog for like a 3-mile walk tonight with the, even though it was cloudy, the moon was out full above the clouds. It was pretty bright. Just a beautiful night. And there has been a few snowflakes here or there. This is not heavy. Looks like the heaviest snow right now is just southwest of Minot. And then you can see around Bismarck, not much going on there. Temperatures tonight, teens and 20s. And tomorrow is going to be chilly. But the rest of the week, Lauren and Nicholas, it is going to warm up.
It's about time.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tom. And thank you for watching.
Join us for KX News tomorrow morning on Good Day Dakota.